They say freedom of thought is sacred. But what if I told you that even your own thoughts can be planted? Not by machines, not by hypnosis, but by someone who understands how you think better than you do. Machiavelli knew these centuries ago. He mastered the art of making people believe they were deciding for themselves, while quietly steering their choices all along. In this video, you'll learn how that silent power works, how to use it ethically, wisely, and invisibly. Because the moment you can guide someone's mind without them realizing it, you stop playing game and start designing it. ACT 2, the power premise, the illusion of choice. Most people think manipulation means lying or forcing others. But the true manipulators don't push, they invite. They make you want what they already decided you should want. Machiavelli called this shaping perception. Control perception, and you control behavior without lifting a finger. Think about it. You've seen a movie that made you cry for fictional people, right? You knew it was fake, yet your emotions were real. That's not storytelling. That's mental engineering. Now imagine doing that in real life, subtly, socially, strategically. And no, it doesn't involve waving a watch in front of someone's face. That's just bad theater. Real influence is about planting seeds. ACT 3, the emotional conflict, why force always fails. Every weak mind tries to convince through noise. The strong mind convinces through silence. When you argue, the other person resists. When you suggest, the other person defends your idea as if it were their own. Here's the paradox. The harder you try to control people, the less control you have. But the more you let them believe they're free, the more predictable they become. That's the power paradox. Machiavelli used it with princes, generals, and enemies. He never ordered loyalty. He implied that loyalty was a privilege. People raced to prove themselves worthy because they thought it was their choice. Funny, isn't it? The moment someone feels free, they become easiest to lead. ACT 4, the contrast, two mindsets. There are two kinds of thinkers, the reactors and the architects. Reactors respond to what happens around them. Architects create the conditions so others must respond. Reactors argue. Architects design the argument itself. So when a reactor says, I convinced them, the architect smiles quietly because they built the stage, wrote the lines, and handed out the script. Your goal is to become the architect, not a liar or puppeteer, but someone who knows how ideas grow inside the human mind. ACTV illustration. Machiavelli's 3 steps to plan an idea. Let's pull the curtain back. Here are the 3 invisible steps Machiavelli used, and how you can use them in the modern world. Step 1. Mirror their mind. You cannot plant a seed in stone. You must soften the soil first. Before influencing anyone, observe their ego triggers. What do they pride themselves on? Being smart, kind, independent? Then subtly mirror that trait. If someone values intelligence, compliment their insight. If they crave compassion, praise their empathy. Once their self-image feels safe with you, the gates open. The moment someone believes you understand me, they also believe you wouldn't mislead me. And that's when suggestion becomes effortless. Step 2. Hide the seed inside agreement. Never present your idea as new. Wrap it inside something they already agree with. For example, instead of saying, you should be more strategic, say, you're already so thoughtful. Maybe a tiny bit more strategy would make your ideas unstoppable. See the difference? The resistance drops. They nod, thinking they're refining their own view, but they're actually walking into yours. Machiavelli used to say, convince the people they are free and they will obey. Step 3. Let them water the seed. After you plant the thought, step back. Say nothing. Silence is fertilizer. People hate empty space in conversation. They fill it with justification. And in defending your idea as their own, they're watering the very seed you planted. That's the invisible hand of influence. ACT 6. Framing the hidden law. The law of concealed creation. All of this leads to what I call the law of concealed creation. It states, the most powerful ideas are those whose authorship is forgotten. If someone remembers you gave them the idea, they may resist it later. But if they believe it was their own thought, it becomes part of their identity. That's how revolutions, religions, and brands are born. Not through orders, but through illusions of choice. Machiavelli understood that influence isn't about volume. It's about invisibility. If power were loud, everyone would hear it. But true power whispers and still commands obedience. ACT 7, Modern Reflections, Power in Today's World. You see this daily. Advertisers don't say, buy this. They say, you deserve this. Politicians don't say, obey me. They say, we're in this together. Influence hides in the spaces between words. Even in relationships, you don't tell someone, love me. You create conditions where loving you feels inevitable. Dark? Maybe. But remember, gravity doesn't care whether you use it to build a bridge or drop a stone. Power is neutral. Only the hand that wields it gives it meaning. ACT 8, Yield the Power Lesson, the ultimate choice. Now that you understand how thought manipulation works, you might notice something unsettling. It's everywhere. Every influencer, every leader, every well-meaning friend, they're all planting seeds. The only question is, do you want to stay the garden or become the gardener? Because if you don't shape thoughts, someone else will shape yours. That's the cruel beauty of the power paradox. The moment you choose not to use power, you surrender it to those who will. In the next video, we'll go deeper into how to defend yourself from these same tactics and how to recognize when you're the one being silently guided. You'll never hear conversations the same way again. If this opened your mind, even a little, if you felt that quiet thrill of recognizing hidden power, then don't just walk away. Take the next step. Click like, so this message spreads beyond the noise. Share it with someone who thinks they can't be influenced and watch their confidence crumble just a bit. And if you want to keep sharpening your mind like a true, ruthless sage, subscribe to Mind Code. Here, we don't chase motivation. We decode power, philosophy, and human psychology so you can play the game of life like Machiavelli intended, silently, strategically, and always one move ahead. Mind Code, because power hides in plain sight.